lot of the scallop border, any border represents smooth sailing through life, but they did have a lot of old ones with scallop borders. So I'm going to show you the fun one now, and then I'll get to explain this bench too as well.
Very pretty.
This is the ghost of a barn star. You can feel it.
You can see it too.
You can feel it.
Oh my gosh. Is this like an old sign that used to be up there?
This is an 1840s barn. I found it in the forebay of a barn. This hasn't seen daylight, well, prior to the last 10 years that I owned it, in 100 years. I think in the early 20s, the forebay was torn off, and they extended the forebay. They built it further out of the barn, and they used new wood. Well, this wood just got thrown on the floor, used in the ceiling. So we've patched that barn many times. It was an old slate roof, and one day I'm looking for where the leaks were, and I kicked some hay around, and I'm like, oh my God, there's a deckle wedge border. There's a ghost. So I told the owner, he's like, well, take them if you want. Just put something else back there. And I'm like, to me, it's a museum piece.
Right.
Yeah, so this is all formed from the sun and the rain beating on it for, 60, 70, 80 years. Somewhere along the line, it got painted red again. But when I figured they painted the barn red, they put a white circle on, and they scribed out the designs. But what this actually told me was the bare wood gets scribed. It's put, hold on a second, here is a...
I love the feel of that because it actually has it embroidered inside like permanently.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
This,
Okay.
this is my scribers.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2 sharp points, and you can adjust it to whatever you want. So this outside border was scribed. This raised line was a scribe line. So when you're scribing, you're not scoring the wood. You're compressing it, basically hardening the wood. So all these designs were scribed. Then they probably put on a weak whitewash, white background of some sort. So 5, 10, 15 years later, that weak white color disappears and the wood starts degrading, basically shrinking back, forming the barn wood. But the design being painted keeps most of the original thickness. So the wood degrades further than the scribe line in this case, which makes it a raised line, which I find very fascinating. So the reason I figured that out is because these are the original red brush lines painting around the design.
I'm amazed.
Yeah.
I really am. Like what you're describing, I can't imagine, because now my next question is, how many hours does it take you to do
A barn?
or even just one sign?
Well, on a barn, a 4-footer, I could have 6 hours in probably. It's hard to say. I draw the circle, I white coat each one, and I'll move my ladder. After the white's dry, I put 3 coats of white latex on. After that's dry, I draw the design out. I don't scribe my barns. I use this to scribe my discs and cut them with a jigsaw. But so that's the ghost. This was a 5 foot top to bottom. Numerology was fascinating with them. A lot of barn stars, not this one in particular, have a border of 1/13 of the diameter, and the center pinwheel, red dot was like 1/13 as well. Number 7 was always 7, 13, and 22 were supposedly magical numbers of some sort. Associated with 7 days of creation, 7 days a week. 7, there was something else. 13 was supposed to be the 12 apostles of Jesus. And the only thing, in my opinion, 22, which I don't know what exactly, but in my thought, the Jewish alphabet has 22 letters. And there was a lot of Jewish living in the Palatinate area when they came over here in the 16, 17, 1800s, Wow. So that, the man-woman Jewish star is like two triangles, equilateral triangles up and down. But basically the 6-point star comes out of that design. So that's only my personal theory about 22, but somewhere along the line somebody told me I had to have 22 scallops around the outside.
Wow.
So most of my hexine, you know, if you look at that rosette there behind him,
Yeah.
that has the blue one there, the 3-footer on the floor, that has 22 scallops around it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I mean this sign, this has 22 scallops around the outside.